Hello, everyone. This is the late night review of a late night adult comedy, sleazy, post apocalyptic science fantasy setting. So, this is The Witch King Asama, and let's get started with the review. Because I promised this for so long, and even though I don't like Venger because he's a bit of a dick to trans people, but no more politics. Anyway, so this is Fuschia Malaise. As you can see, it has a beautiful full color cover with bodacious beauties, slate sandworms, people firing laser guns in the distance, and above all else, the grand cultist of Chalt, Venger Satanis. Anyways, let's get through this. Created by Venger Satanis 2020, published by Court Dulles Publishing, layout by David and Melissa Guile, cover art by Mon Stark, interior art by those people, cartography by Dark Realms Maps, proofreading by Martin Teplai, Aaron the Pedantic, Andrew Zakaro Moore, Bobby J., Brian Green, Robert Jensen, Joab Stieglitz, James Patterson, and Paul Sined 708. It was funded on Kickstarter, and it came out on July 23rd, 2020. This was, I guess, printed in Canada, but let's see. So, table of contents. As you can see, it has the foreword, essentials, what this book's all about, what's happened, and then it goes into the emerging races of Chalt, including the blue velvet elves, the grogs, humans and half-elves, boars, and visims. Let's take a look at those, shall we? So, blue velvet elves. They gain a swagger bonus d4 to every d20 roll. They're that cool. Thrice per day, blue velvet elves can conjure dark electro-mystical tones, enhancing their stage presence, granting them advantage on persuasion rolls. Anything bad that happens to one or more party members always affects the blue velvet elf, and they're hunted for their valuable pelts. And customers looking for a neo-noir lounge smoking jacket made out of blue velvet elf skin will pay handsomely. And that is why blue velvet elves are nearly extinct on Chalt. So you have the races, you have the morale rules, which I always like morale. Morale is incredibly useful for any OSR game, or even D&D 5th edition if people stop playing that and join the OSR movement. And Free Kriegsfield Revival, whatever. I used to be a fan of that, but not anymore. So, has reaction checks, disguise, enamored, NPCs, alignment, motivations for adventurers. He has lots of table. This is one of Venger's specialities. But I don't want to show you each and every page, so I'll just scroll quickly through it. It does say that if you are a murder hobo, because humanoids have souls, they have to do an act of contrition for their murder hoboism, or else they're plagued with nightmares that evening, and they must do one of these listed things, or perhaps something else that the GM can come up with. And then there's faction beliefs ranging from the Black Acceptance, Gnostic, the Cabal, atheism, anarchist, socialist, demonolatry. There's some cool artwork, traits for various things. How useful is this NPC? More awesome art. This book is just full of tables. Let's skip ahead a bit, shall we? Going into the city of Agribah, it talks about what Agribah is like, what it's like to enter the city, the noble houses, the water ritual, guided tour, exploring the city, spaceport, more random tables. Something you can always get in Venger's books is lots of inspiration from his random tables, and even though I hate making random tables, Venger, I guess, seems to like doing that, or else he tortures himself doing that so he can get more fans. Let's see. Wasteland encounters. More tables. Lots and lots of tables. Okay, here's something cool. So something I mentioned in my previous review is that Chalt is written ostensibly for every version of D&D, including OSR games, so it tries to be as broad in its reach and grasp of the rules as possible. So you have an attack bonus, number of attacks, hit dice, damage, HP, AC, save. It's pretty easy to convert AC to an OSR game, especially something like Basic Fantasy or Castles and Crusades. And yes, that is a giant squid-like worm clown creature. The clown worm, it's called. There's a little bit of a adventure scenarios there. Talks about Thaanos, an NPC you could run into on Chalt. Now we get into the scenarios. Fuchsia Flesh Pit, not to be just thought of as the Mystery Flesh Pit in West Texas, but here's some cool pictures, some stock art, I guess. Yeah, so to sum it all up, I've been scrolling through this book for about 8 minutes. I'm gonna have to give it a review score soon, but honestly, if you like Chalt, if you like Dark Sun, if you like heavy metal, the movie from the 80s, if you like John Carter of Mars, if you like Star Wars, Dune, all kinds of stuff, you'll like Chalt. But you have to be kind of in the mindset for it because Chalt is a rather interesting setting. Lots of sleazy content, lots of violence, lots of political content, which that's not what I'm a fan of when Venger does that, but I'm not here for that. But just so you know, he does get pretty political, especially in his later books that he's made recently. So just be aware of that. More cool artwork, more dungeons. And I will go all the way to the bottom, scrolling as fast as I can so that no one can say, oh, he was showing too much of the book so people can use it. Whatever. So, more cool artwork, appendices, more rules, and we're almost to the bottom. Okay. So, finally, there is what appears to be what what is a take off of Venger's hyper sigil of Chalt. But Chalt, Fuschia Malaise, what do I give it? In terms of content, it gets easily a 3 out of 5. No, 4 out of 5 sounds better. And then for substance, it gets a 3 out of 5. And out of the style, I think the style is probably about 2 out of 5. Just because there's some artwork that I'm not a huge fan of. Some of the paintings, I like them for what they are, but they're not I'm not a huge fan of them. So, let's tally it up. 4, 3, 2, divided by 3. So we have a 3 out of 5 score. If you are interested in this, I will post a link in the description of where to purchase this. And as of right now, Venger still has a ton of Chalt books in his house, and his wife wants to get rid of them really soon. So he keeps selling them off in every Kickstarter he does. So if you want, if what I've shown you interests you at all, please do not hesitate to purchase the book. And especially if you purchase it from Venger himself, he will give you the PDF, and he's willing to broker a deal with you so you can get it for any kind of situation that you're in. Anyways, this is the Witch King of Samra, and I apologize for the terse review I've just given, but yeah. Please, if you watch my channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Share the videos, feed the algorithm, because I really need to get better at handling YouTube, and the only way I can do that is by making more videos and by people to engage with it. So, I've said that so many times. This is the Witch King of Samra, and I am signing off. Peace out.